Hello friends, welcome back to my book channel. Today we are going to be spinning for my June TBR, and this is honestly so exciting for multiple reasons. One, this is the official halfway through the year month. When we get through June, we're halfway to the end of 2025, which is insane, which also means that I need to take a step back and reflect, what books have I read in the first half of this year? How am I doing on all of the goals that I set for this year? And I feel like that's definitely going to inform how I make decisions about the books that I read moving into the second half of this year. And so I'm also excited because you guys know that I love summer. I love summertime. I love flying through books by the pool. And yeah, okay, I think that's all I have to say actually at the beginning of this intro. So without further ado, let's jump into the TBR wheel picks my June reads. If you guys have been keeping up with my shorts, I'm actually starting a new series where I try to dwindle down my physical TBR. And so what's crazy, this is the smallest physical TBR we've ever had in a TBR wheel video. I have 3 books with me. I do have a couple more books in my physical TBR on the shelf, but I'm saving them for a reason. Okay, so they're not in this wheel, but I have a plan for those books. Don't you worry. But these are the only 3 books that we're working with for my physical TBR. The rest of the books in this wheel are either library books or Kindle Unlimited books, or they're new releases, or I want a reason to go to the bookstore to buy them. So let's see what the TBR wheel has in store for me. I am now spinning for my first book of the month. And as always, I am going to be spinning for 6 books in the month of June. The first book that the TBR wheel has chosen is Ruthless Vows by Rebecca Ross. And I don't know what is going on. The last 2 or 3 months, the 1 or 2 books that I didn't get from the previous month's TBR get chosen immediately. This is one of the books, might be the only book, that I did not get to in my May TBR. The TBR wheel knows. It's saying, girl, we need you to finish this freaking duology because I've been talking about finishing it for so long and I still haven't. Since I talked about it last month, I'm not going to talk about it a ton this month, but this is the second book in the Divine Rivals duology. And in this series, it's a very sweet and magical romantasy series. We're following 2 journalists who are living in a time, I don't even know what the best way to describe it would be, but there is a war going on between the gods in this world that they live in, and so they are documenting this war. Iris, our main character, her brother has gone off to fight in this war. She misses him, and she's writing letters to him on her magical typewriter. The issue is the letters aren't actually going to her brother. They're going to her rival at the newspaper, and there's a whole whirlwind romance that happens, and of course, this book ends on a freaking cliffhanger, and I've been thinking about it for months, and I still haven't picked up the second book because what's new? I don't like it when things end. And that's all that I'm going to say about that one. Let us spin the TBR wheel for book number 2 out of 6. There are new releases that I'm really excited about coming out in June, and so I would be really, really excited if the TBR wheel picked any of those. Beartown by Friedrich Bachmann. I am okay with this. If you guys watched my last video about Kindle Unlimited book recommendations, then you guys would know that one book that is on Kindle Unlimited that I'm also dying to read sometime soon is Beartown by Friedrich Bachmann. This is the first book in a trilogy, and what I do know, it's not a ton, but what I do know is that the town that this series takes place in, they all love hockey. Hockey is the spirit of this town. And something really sad happens at the beginning of this book. Again, I really have no idea what that is. Probably has something to do with hockey. This is a book that I have not picked up yet, especially recently, because look at that winter cover and we're in June. Guys, tell me what I'm supposed to do. Again, I talked about this in my Kindle Unlimited video. It should be up by the time this video goes up. Please tell me if I should listen to the TBR wheel and start this regardless of the fact that we're going into June, which is what I want to do. I can't lie, I do want to get into this this world and this series. I've read one other book by Friedrich Bachmann. I've read Anxious People. I gave it a 4 out of 5. It was a really enjoyable story. I thought it was really fun and really quirky, and it was definitely a good taste into Friedrich Bachmann's writing style. It's very unique. It's like literally like nothing I've ever read before. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about when I should actually pick this book up. I am looking forward to it, and this is great. Out of all the books in the physical TBR, or no, I'm sorry, out of all of the books in the TBR wheel, we got one from the physical TBR, which is such a slay. Hopefully I can keep, again, if you guys have been watching the shorts, you know, picking books out of the jar and reading them. So hopefully the jar picks this book too. Spinning for book number 3. As you guys know, 2 of my favorite authors are coming out with books in the month of June. We have, I'll let the TBR wheel pick and then I'll keep going. Yes! Oh my gosh, I've been waiting for the TBR wheel to pick this. Thank God. I want to finish what I was saying before though, which is that 2 of my absolute favorite authors are coming out with books in June. We have Sounds Like Love by Ashley Poston and Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I am so excited. I am not usually the kind of person that goes to the bookstore and gets a new book on release day. I just feel like I have so many books on my shelf to get through, and like I'll get to those books when I'm ready for them. But the TBR is running low, and I think I would love a little excuse to go to the bookstore and pick up those new books. But again, we'll talk about them more if the TBR wheel picks them. But the 3rd book that the TBR wheel has chosen is the 5th and final book in the Magnolia Park series by Jessa Hastings. I have just been absolutely devouring these books and this series. I picked them up with very average expectations, I guess you would say, because I'd heard such mixed reviews for these books online. Some people hate the toxicity and the wealth and the drama and the characters, which I completely understand because we're looking at very wealthy people in London. Their issues are very, very different than your average human being. But other people read these books and they read Jessa Hastings' writing as so layered and so complex and so beautiful, and grow a really deep connection with the characters. These books are definitely character driven over plot driven, and I have found myself in camp number 2, which is absolutely loving the story and the world and the characters that she's created. And so as I've read each of these books, I've just loved them more and more and more each time. The first Magnolia Parks book I gave a 4-star. The second one, like the second Magnolia book, I gave a 4.5. So maybe this one will be a 5. Who knows? That would be pretty crazy stuff. And I've given both Daisy books in this series a 5. I loved them both so much. I'm definitely a Daisy girl. So this is also the conclusion to Magnolia and BJ's romance. And with how the last book ended, like it's gonna go down. Like things are gonna get worse before they get better, for sure. And so I've been like nervous and also excited to pick this up. And I'm also sad because once I finish this, there's not another Magnolia book, or not Magnolia, but just like a book in this universe by Jessa Hastings to pick up. Like I have to join everybody else who's waiting for her to announce when the next Daisy book is coming out. And that's just kind of depressing. I'm really excited about this. This book is ready for me to check out from the library, and I keep delaying the hold. Like I keep pushing it back because I want to read it when the TBR wheel picks it. So fingers crossed that I can get to this one in June. I am so excited. Okay, I think that's 3 books, right? It's hard now because I don't have the books to hold up. It's kind of tough to keep track. We are spinning for book number 4, and honestly, I don't have a ton to say. A lot of these books I put in here very intentionally because I want to read them. Reckless by Lauren Roberts. This is good. This is actually really, really good. Okay, so Reckless, guys. Here's the tea with this book. I read Powerless by Lauren Roberts a while ago now. Honestly, don't even remember when I actually read that book. I was still living in LA, so it had to have been a while ago. Then I read the short story that came after that. I think it's called Powerful. And I enjoyed both those books. I thought they were good, but they were not standout fantasies to me in any way. So they kind of fell to the wayside in terms of how I was prioritizing reading these books. I was not obsessed with them in the same way that a lot of other people were. I liked them enough to want to continue into Reckless, into the second book in this fantasy series. And now the third and final book in this trilogy, Fearless, has come out. That's been a recent release this year. And I've seen a lot of people reading it. And it's difficult for me because I wasn't head over heels obsessed with Powerless, the first book. And then Reckless came out and I saw a lot of really disappointed people. A lot of people didn't love it. And then this third book has come out and people seem to like it more than Reckless, but still not nearly as much as Powerless. And that's tough as someone who wasn't obsessed with Powerless to begin with. Again, I liked it. It was a good book. I have so much respect for Lauren Roberts. She did a great job, but I just didn't like personally connect with it. So I'm like, if everyone's not loving the other books as much, does that mean that I'm not gonna love these as much? Like maybe less than Powerless, do you know what I'm saying? And so this is another one that I have a library hold on and I keep pushing it back. I'm like, no, deliver later. And when I say library, I'm referring to Libby, my like Kindle library, so I can like download those books onto my Kindle. Hopefully June is the month that I get to this so I can decide if this is actually a series that I want to finish or not, because it's kind of just floating around in my maybe continue, maybe not list. And I don't really love it when series are sitting there because then I just don't prioritize them and I read other books. That is 4 books down, meaning that we have 2 more books left to go. And I'm oh my God, what's it gonna be? I've been putting both of these books off for so long. My heart rate just got so much higher. The 5th book that the TBR wheel has chosen is the one and only book that keeps making it. It's like the lone survivor in my physical TBR, if we're being so completely honest. This book was gifted to me. I did not pick this book out myself. However, I have heard excellent reviews for this book and this story. And this is like 600 pages. It's super long. It's super sad. And I have not been able to find the audiobook of this anywhere. And when I say that, take it with a grain of salt. I usually try to listen to all of my audiobooks for free. I listen to audiobooks from Libby, and I also listen to audiobooks on Spotify with like the Spotify hours that you get in your membership. And so I don't know if there is even an audiobook version of this available on anything that I could easily get for free. And normally when I'm having a difficult time starting a new book, if I start in the audio and I can get like 20% of the way into the book and I can get a good feel for the characters and the story, and I'm not trying to like figure things out in the beginning, and I'm not really getting bored because I'm not connected to things yet because the story is just being told to me, it's so much easier for me to then jump into the physical and just keep going, especially when you're starting a book like this. I'm reading Kingdom of Ash right now. I didn't listen to any of that on audio, but like now that I'm 200 pages in, it's so much easier for me to just like pick that book up and keep reading it because I can see the dent that I've made. And so I feel like reading something on audio has the same effect, but I haven't been able to find this on audio anywhere. And that is why it's true. I think it's honestly the sole reason that this keeps getting pushed off and pushed off and pushed off, that if I'm at war with my physical TBR, this book has got to go. And I have a feeling it's going to be like, why did I let it sit there for so long? Probably. All right, that is 5 out of 6 books left to go. I'm looking at this wheel and honestly, we have a lot of the fun books left, which is amazing. I really want to do a reread of Beach Read this summer. I wanted to do it last summer, but the TBR wheel never chose it, and so I did not end up doing my Beach Read reread, so I would love to do that. The new releases, of course. My sister actually has been begging me to read every summer after, and so that's why this one is in there. And then now that I've read all of Abby Jimenez, like her newest releases, I've read her 4 most recent books, I really want to go back and read her backlist because I just love her. And so I have the first book in her previous trilogy, which is The Friend Zone. Did I need to go through and like analyze all of these for you? No, but I did it anyway. Oh my God, we're totally gonna get martyr. Wow. So not the fun books, but that's okay. Bum, 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 bum. This has happened multiple times in a row now. It's like, oh, here's all of the books but one that I'm like excited about. And then it picks the other one. But this is good because this means that out of all the books on my physical TBR that I brought out today, the 3 of them, 3 got chosen. That's 3 for 3. So I can't complain. These are on my physical TBR for a reason, and that's okay. This book did not get chosen last month, but I kind of wanted it to, because again, the audiobook became available for my library, but it's chosen this month and we're gonna make it work. This is again a story that I do not know a ton about it when it comes to the actual plot, which is funny because it's like, oh, I really want to read this book, but I couldn't tell you why. No, it's like I've heard that the emotions that this book is able to invoke and how this makes people feel, and Cyrus, the main character, following him as he goes through a lot. I know that we start out this book with him as he's like a drunk addict, like he has a lot of issues, but those issues stem from like things that his family has been through, really, really hard and sad things. I'm so curious to see how we dissect all of those different themes and all of those different topics and how it impacts Cyrus as a character, and also how he hopefully comes out of this very difficult place that he's in through this story. And so, yeah, this is a book that I'm gonna feel so good. Maybe not. Maybe I'll feel so depressed when it's over, but like I'll feel so good that it's off of my TBR, because you guys know, if you've been with me for a little while, there's just certain books that just have stayed on the shelf and I'm over it. I am so over it. And so, you know, I can't complain. The new releases can wait for another month because I really need to get these books off my shelf. Okay, so that was all 6 books. So now let's go through the official June TBR. Let's do the physical books first. So we have Martyr by Kaveh Akbar, The Bee Sting by Paul Murray, Beartown by Friedrich Bachmann, and then we have the ebooks, or books that I do not have in my possession yet. The first one being Magnolia Park's Into the Dark, Ruthless Vows by Rebecca Ross, and Reckless by Lauren Roberts. So those are all of the books that I'm hopefully going to be reading in June. If you guys have a preference on where I start, let me know. Leave it in the comment section down below. And I would also love to hear what some of your guys' goals are for the month of June. I love talking to you guys in the comment section down below. It's like my favorite part of doing these videos. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, comment down below the palm tree emoji. And I think that's it. I hope you guys are having a great day and a great reading month, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!